There's something dastardly going on. Hello, my royal lovelies. Welcome back to the channel. Oh my goodness. I woke up to more Prince Harry news. My goodness. Now, I knew ahead of time that he was going to be doing this sort of series of engagements. I think it was billed a few weeks ago as focusing on projects, wasn't it? Sort of tying up loose ends and promoting projects and that kind of thing. So we had plenty of advanced warnings. Now, I use the word warnings because I've still got I think it's gone beyond Harry and Meghan fatigue now. I'm just literally, whenever I see their faces pop up, I just go, oh my goodness. And being in the position that I am, I mean, I've got a channel about the royal family, and although Harry and Meghan, I've said this before, although Harry and Meghan are not working royals, they are still a prince and a princess technically of the United Kingdom. By virtue of marriage, Meghan is technically Princess Henry. And of course, they do still hold a royal dukedom, and technically they do still have the HRH, even though they do not use it in public. There's still a little bit of confusion, I think, with royal watchers, or certain royal watchers, about the HRH. Yes, the HRH was removed from the official royal family website when they got around to updating everything. But that doesn't mean they've been stripped of it. It was only agreed that they wouldn't use it in public. They still have it, and they still do use it when it comes to any sorts of official documentation. So, yes, they very still much fall under the category of being members of the royal family by virtue of Harry's birth. So, whenever I get royal news about Harry and Meghan, my heart sinks. And it doesn't bring me the greatest of pleasure to talk about them. But anyway, we'll talk about Prince Harry from last night. Of course, he met with Queen Matilda. But today, Prince Harry has appeared on stage in New York to discuss mental health and climate change with two young winners of a legacy award in his mother's memory. So, with any of these events that Harry's attending, I'm never really criticising the charities or the organisations, because more often than not, they are, worthwhile, worthy causes that really do, aim to do good in the world and to help people. The bit that I question is Harry's authenticity in attending and representing and being patron of, because I feel like everything is to benefit him. I feel like the publicity it generates is to benefit him financially, because of course everything is sort of drived towards their money-making activities. So I'm struggling with his I'm struggling with his lack of sincerity when it comes to helping these sorts of events, including Invictus. Now, initially, when of course he was part of its founding in the UK. Of course, he based it on the Warrior Games, but it was in conjunction with the British government and the Royal Foundation at the time. But he sort of spearheaded it. I felt like everything was genuine back then. Ever since he's left, I feel like there's just a lack of sincerity. That's the word. It is sincerity. I feel like when he tried to pimp out the Invictus Games Warriors for Netflix, for that documentary that was, universally panned and didn't do particularly well in the great scheme of things, I just feel like he's tried to exploit the charities and the organisations. And this is one of the pitfalls of moving away from the royal family, because when William and Catherine, for example, turn up at charity events or organisations, or they start something, that they are not directly benefiting from anything that they're doing. They are doing it on behalf of the charities, to help people, and of course this is to represent and to conduct this sort of work on behalf of the nation. So you get a feeling that they are doing it because they really want to, not because they are getting any kind of benefit from it, if that makes sense. I mean, there isn't actually a defined role for the Prince of Wales when it comes to royal engagements. You know, King Charles, when he was Prince of Wales, really carved out a role, but there's no actual... There's nothing to say that Prince Charles had to do anything. Prince Charles could have just ran or sort of fronted the Duchy of Cornwall, taken all of the profits and just lived off them and not done any public work whatsoever and just waited for the time when he become king. He didn't. There's no obligation for the heir to the throne to do anything. It's become expected that they will. And of course, the heir to the throne, the Duchy of Cornwall, funds the heir to the throne. So the Duchy of Cornwall is now funding Prince William, the Prince of Wales, for his activities, for Catherine's activities, and eventually, if George, Charles and Louis take up royal duties, which I think they will do, it will fund them as well. So the Duchy of Cornwall funds the Wales branch of the family for all of their working and lifestyle activities. But there is no actual requirement for them to do so. So when they do something, you know it's because they're actually helping the charities. Harry and Meghan, on the other hand, as I've just in a long-winded way tried to explain, you get a feeling that it's to benefit them. What's in it for them? Compassion in action? So when we see Harry at events like this, it just kind of... It makes me question his motives for doing it. Anyway, he's taking part in the 14th Concordia Annual Summit, oh, that's a mouthful, in support of the Diana Award on his 8-day solo trip to the East Coast and the UK. Let's stress the solo element for a moment because Meghan has not come. Supposedly, she's off poorly. She's having a sick week. Now, you know, I know that there are bugs and there are illnesses going around. I've just had one myself. So, you know, there is the distinct possibility that she could potentially be telling the truth, but I highly doubt it. I think when it comes to Markle, there's a lot more dark thoughts that go into it. Do you know what I mean? There's undercurrents at play here. And I think when I made my video a few videos ago that I thought that something's brewing, and in my mind, I think that something brewing is potentially the Markles. I'm going to call them the Markles, going to Sandringham for Christmas. I think that is brewing, and those feelings have not gone away. I'm still getting those vibes. And I think this is part of a ploy to sort of distance, if you like, Harry from Meghan professionally. It's all premeditated. That was the word I was trying to look for. Everything with Meghan and Harry is always premeditated. The problem is they aren't very good chess players when it comes to premeditating anything. They don't really think 5 or 6 steps ahead, and they only view things through the very narrow mindset of their own blinkers, and the sort of garb that their supporters tell them. They don't actually... What they haven't got is, in managerial terms, is classed as helicopter vision. They can't rise above the scenario, look down and see everything. They only have a very blinkered, narrow view of the world around them and the perceptions of them. Because otherwise, why would they make such disastrous PR mistakes at every twist and turn? They are not very good chess players. I think they're more Connect 4. I think that's more their level, or maybe a little bit of 10-pin bowling. Yes. So with Harry and Meghan, everything is premeditated. I think this sort of divide strategy is in place here, this sort of separation, the severance of Harry from Meghan on a professional level, I think is underway. And I think it's entirely designed so that at least Harry can go and be seen with the royals, which then, of course, sort of refuels them, gives them an extra touch of this royal sparkle so that they can package it and market it and exploit it. And I think that is what the aim of it is. And I think that's why Meghan's staying away. I think she's saying that she's ill because obviously who's going to question someone who says that they're ill? Who's going to question someone who doesn't want to spread their bugs around? I mean, it doesn't matter that she normally has no issue with spreading her poison around. But no, I am going to question it because I think there's something a little bit shady going on. There is an ulterior motive, my loves, with all of this. She's at home doing she's in the downward dog with chickens all the way around her. That's what she's doing. She's been squishing some jam this morning between her little toes, her bunioned feet. Anyway, so Meghan's not gone. I think he wants to be seen so that he can have solo projects, because let's face it, they are a little bit thin on the ground. He hasn't really got any solo projects, and all the solo projects that he has done have been to exploit other people. For example, I spoke about it, the Netflix Invictus documentary, that was to exploit the Warriors for financial gain. Spare, that was to exploit his family for financial gain. The polo thing that he's got coming, again, it's to exploit the players for all the people involved for financial gain. He's just exploiting people for his own ends. And the charity projects, I think what he needs to kind of realise is that they are not going to be the big money spinners. Although he's been trying to exploit people, they're not the big money spinners that he would hope them to be. So here he is in New York for basically a week. So what did he say? He personally interviewed Chiara Ryanti. I have no idea who she is. And this is no dig. I'm not digging at these people. I just do not know who they are. Hutapia Zhang from Indonesia. I'm sorry for the pronunciation. And Christina Williams from Jamaica, who received the Legacy Award in memory for Diana. And joked, for some reason, I've been giving the microphone to ask the questions. He told them, I applaud you for having the confidence to be on this stage. I know my mother would be incredibly proud of you guys. Your activism is true, and how my mother lived her life. Harry wore a navy suit and tie with a Diana Award pin on his lapel and said, do you feel like leaders and people in positions of power are listening to you? Adding that he wanted the Diana Award to help their campaigning to tackle climate change and bring influence around the world. I mean, maybe that's a question that he needs to kind of ask himself, or maybe that's one he is asking. Do you feel like leaders and people in positions of power are listening to you? Could it be a reference to his battle with the UK Home Office? Does he feel like the UK Home Office, the government, are not listening to him? I don't know. Is it even a reference to the king? People in positions of power not listening? Maybe that's a bit of a dig. I don't know. And when asked what gives him hope for the future, he said, I have said it before years ago, and I'll say it again. Oh, my goodness. The younger generation is what gives me hope. The courage you have gives me hope. Every one of us needs courage to move the dial in this world, probably more than ever. We need to listen and act on what you say, because it is your future that will be stolen, and that is unacceptable. Ooh, he's getting a little bit political there, my loves, isn't he? So, yeah, I think this is definitely his determination to carve out new opportunities and potentially assert himself after, of course, turning 40. Now, he's away for the next 8 days, and then presumably we think he might be going off for birthday celebrations with friends as well. Now, there is an itinerary that I have in front of me. So I'm recording this today, Monday, September 23rd. And I've just mentioned in the morning he has discussed the global mental health crisis among young people at the Concordia Summit. The afternoon, he will appear on stage for an event promoting the work of the Halo Trust. On Tuesday, September 24th, he'll be expected to attend the Protectors of African Parks Benefit Gala. Wednesday, September 25th to Friday, September 27th, will attend a number of other events in relation to the UN General Assembly High Level Week and Climate Week. And then Monday, September 30th, he will be in London for the Well Child Awards. Commentators have said that they think that he's desperate to find some new meaning to his life, and that seems to involve branching out on his own more. Well, that's what I've just said. They say he has these few days in New York and then he's heading to London for the Well Child event, with which he's been involved for years. He clearly wants to find some causes he can get involved in and give his life some purpose. Meghan doesn't want to come back to this country, so he will have to fly solo. Harry has reportedly been contacting some of his old friends ahead of his UK visit. That is, if any of them will want to speak to him. They continue, I'm sure he's lacking some mates he can go out with for a beer and truly relax. He needs a saviour. He needs someone to give him a stiff talking to about his life. That's what he needs. The more he does things on his own and carves out some new projects, the more likely it is he can heal himself. Oh, that's what we want, isn't it? For Harry to just heal himself. Never mind all the people that he's hurt and trodden on the way. Doesn't care about the healing of them. And eventually some of the divisions with his family. But it's going to be a long road. Well, he needs to apologise for a start. And that is literally just for starters. So journalist Tom Bauer has said that Harry's next week away shows he is trying to assert himself alone. It's not just Harry doing repeated solo events, which suggests a shift in his lifestyle and strategy to assert himself, not least in Britain. Without Meghan by his side, Harry was seen greeting last night Queen Mathilde of Belgium, actor Forest Whitaker, and several United Nations agency heads and other dignitaries for an event to honour survivors of childhood violence. I mean, there was a bit of a boo-boo as well on social media. I think someone tagged the Prince and Princess of Wales into a social media post while he was talking to singer Richard Marx. A little bit of a blunder and a boo-boo, because of course Harry hasn't had Instagram presence since Sussex Royal was sort of set to go to pasture, if you like. So he's trying to be seen on the royal stage. What is his role now? His achievements are undoubtedly the Invictus Games and patronages for Well Child. But the problem, as I've said before, is they are increasingly seeming less sincere, more contrived. So I'm not quite sure how long he will be able to carry out these for, really. But anyway, he'll be attending, as I said, the programme of events. And yeah, I'm just speechless, really, at the way that he thinks that by conducting himself like a royal, like the royal that he is, but without that legitimate working royal backing, I'm perplexed as to how he thinks that is going to make him look good. It just looks like he's playing dress up. It looks like he's playing, you know, a kind of royal pantomime. I mean, we saw, again, an example of this strategy. We saw the faux royal tours that we've had over the past year. You know, Nigeria, Mexico. And I just think, what planet is he actually on that he thinks that this looks good? Is Meghan putting him up to it? Not entirely sure. Anyway, I've spoken about quite a bit today, and I'll have shown you lots of photos from the past 2 days. Please let me know your thoughts and comments by leaving comments in the comments box of this video. It really does help to show YouTube and the algorithms that you are engaged with the video, which helps to push it out to more people. So thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share, like, comment, and I will see you next time. So from me, mwah, to you all my lovies, and goodbye.